Good morning. So, a few things to announce. Number one, there is a Telegram group now. Sorry, I did take a little something for allergies today. They've been acting up quite a bit lately. Okay, so number one, Telegram group in the description below. It's called Raven Wolfgar's Coffee Table. Yes, I'm talking about this very table here. Just a virtual version of this table where we can all sit around it, have coffee, have tea, shoot the breeze, or we can talk tarot, we can talk oracles, we can talk runes. You can make deck recommendations to me, things like that. We can discuss just about anything. However, whatever it is we discuss, we keep it civil. We keep it cool in there. That's all I ask. That's it. Discuss anything you want. Express any opinions, any ideas. Just keep it simple, keep it civil, keep it cool. Those are my only 3 rules. Now past that, if you're not civil or cool, I'm gonna bounce you. But I don't think with this crowd we really have that to worry about, do we? I don't think so. In any case, number 2, there is also in the description below a link to my CloudHub channel. I started a CloudHub channel yesterday because I got this. Should be appearing on your screen right now. I'm getting these every few days now. Apparently, the ad hominem attacks from the ones I call the extreme fundamentalists weren't working so well. They didn't seem to understand that shaming me was not going to work, and neither was anything else for that matter. Nor were threats, which I reported. So now they have taken to abusing a system that CloudHub has put into place that I did not know existed until the last several days, and that is they are reporting my posts as unsafe. But CloudHub is obviously disagreeing. CloudHub, I still need an explanation as to how they wound up there. Otherwise, I will simply just go with this theory. The number 3 announcement is that I will not do Full Scale Friday tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a reading much like today, because I'm moving the Full Scale reading to Saturday. I still owe you one for missing out on Monday, so I've decided to do it Saturday, when I've got all the time in the world. It'll be nice and peaceful and relaxing, and I'm not so rushed. So, I'm going to go ahead and get this reading done, get this thing in the editing process, and then get it posted. I am running a little bit behind today. Yep, slept through the alarm. Why? Because I probably had it turned down and didn't know it. Oops. But I did get up. I'm still doing this reading. It's just going to be a little faster than normal, hopefully. So, let's get to it, shall we? Okay, starting with our guides as always. We have the 9 worlds. The 9 worlds, which reminds us that everything is connected. Speaking of connections, something that came to mind while I was doing the shuffle that you saw was that we have a tendency to have certain messages come at us, certain messages repeat. And this is a sort of a video equivalent of, I don't really know who needs to hear this, but, and then the message. We've had messages like, always do what lights you up. Whatever it is that makes your soul happy, whatever makes it glow from within, do that. Stick to that. And don't let anyone tell you that that is is not what you're meant to do. When you feel that calling, do it. Unless it's something destructive, then it's time to kind of rethink time to rethink who you might be listening to. But we've also had messages of being authentic, being real, trying to, align your life. Whatever doesn't fit has to go, so that you can reach your higher calling, your higher purpose, whatever that is, whatever that looks like to you. Alright, so we do have connecting messages throughout these videos. They're very, very general messages, but they seem to be targeting certain individuals. They could be targeting you. And if they are, why? That's a question only you can answer for yourself. I can't answer that for you. But anyway, not only is what we do connected to each other, we have to be individuals in order to come together as a group, don't we? We have to have our own unique perspectives on things. And where I'm weak in one area and you're strong in another, and I'm strong in one area and you're weak in another, we should be able to come together to kind of complement our strengths and overcome the weaknesses. Some people have turned weaknesses into superpowers, and by that I mean they've taken a very negative thing that's happened to them and turned it into something very positive. For example, I have a friend who has cerebral palsy, but he doesn't let that stop him, and it is amazing to watch. Alright, so let's get down to the spirit animal. Which animal should we be most like today? A mouse. The best laid plans of mice and men were tending to some smaller things. Small matters, details, that sort of thing. And I think that mouse deserves to have us have a little bit of a look at him. So this spirit calls on you to notice nuance and fine print. In your eagerness to meet your goals and pursue your dreams, it's easy to forget the importance of clear communication and tending to the little things, including people's subtle signs that they're unhappy, as well as the small voice inside you that says, "This doesn't feel right." Take your time to sniff out what you need to know. Is there a detail or a nuance about how you engage others or operate in the world that is key to your success, but you've too readily dismissed as nothing big or nothing special? And this spirit is reminding you to take another look at that. So the little humble mouse, tending to smaller things, trying to keep us kind of connected to each other. In other words, this doesn't keep you connected. It's only a means of communication from one person to another to make it a little easier. It's not meant to serve as a bubble, which is what we've been using it for. Believe me, I know. Anyway, getting into the tarot today. What do we have for our past? Seven of Pentacles. For the present, we have a King of Swords. And for our future, the Fool. So what I'm seeing here is we've put in a lot of work towards our goals, right? And we're starting to see some fruition here. We're kind of looking at it like, it's not quite where we want it to be, is it? And that's very important. When it's not quite where we want it to be, then we kind of see ourselves as a little bit of a problem, and we're doing a lot of assessment, a lot of risk reward there. Well, that King of Swords comes up, and he's very, very much focused on our intellect and the truth. But then we have that Fool, and the Fool is just kind of wandering along, not really aimlessly, but naively. There's a lot of naive assumption to him. What are we naively assuming? What are we assessing? Are we relying just a little too much on our intellect today? See, the thing about the mind and the heart, or even the mind and the spirit, whichever you want to call them, sometimes they tend to conflict. Sometimes going with that instinct is the right thing to do. You're going with a little risk reward on that one, and your mind's telling you one thing, and the Fool is actually telling you to just kind of embrace the unknown here. At least that's what I'm seeing. But embracing that unknown can be rather dangerous at times. I mean, look at him, he's getting ready to walk right off a cliff, and there's a little dog nipping in his heels saying, hey buddy, stop and look for just a second. So any risk that you're doing must be carefully calculated, but believe it or not, even Donald Trump and people like Robert Kiyosaki, those kinds of people, in their own books, which I've read, will tell you, trust your gut. Your gut will never lead you wrong. This is a perception of your intuition and your gut leading you astray. I don't think it will. That just comes with being authentic. Sometimes it's good to not listen to the brain so much. The brain tends to overthink things. Sometimes. It's good to have knowledge, but it's good to temper it with a little, intuition, a little gut feeling. So, we have inner trust. Here we go, right here in the Sacred Rebels Oracle. First card out the gate is this inner trust card. First one out the gate. We'll get into that one in just a minute. The next one, releasing allegiances. Let me tell you something, people. I don't have allegiances to one side or another. I really don't. But just because I oppose an issue with yours doesn't mean that I stand fully with the side that you think is the enemy. With me, there's no us and them. There is only us. Very simple. And then, here you go again. Trust yourself. These are very, very loud cards today. And so far, what I'm seeing, again, this goes with aligning your life. Sometimes, and we've seen this earlier, I think, in the tarot earlier this week, where certain people may have to be cut out. They're just not aligned with your core values, and we're seeing this right here. You really should trust your own judgment in this one. But you know what? Just because I'm kind of interested in seeing this. So here's what I'm getting. Sometimes what you sense will be love, and you will open your heart and move easily toward the source of that love, be it in the form of a person, a new career path, a project which you care deeply about or want to pursue, or a spiritual or creative practice you are keen to explore. But there is a lurking fear, isn't there? There's a lurking fear of possible sabotage. But have you noticed? Let me show you something up here. You got this King of Swords here. Notice he's got that sword right there. He is very defensive. And on the other hand, the Fool is just sort of trusting everything's fine. He's not wearing any armor, he's not carrying any weapons. He puts himself right in the path of mortal danger. And sometimes he gets the mortal shit kicked out of him. That's what you're fearing the most. Today is not the day for that. Trust and believe. Right there in that card is telling you, trust and believe. Today is not the day for that kind of thing. What about that releasing allegiances card? I'm seeing an ultimatum in here. I really am. And if you've been thinking that if, let's just say, and those ultimatums have been going around the workplace lately, if you've been thrown that ultimatum, remember this is a labor shortage. They probably won't find a replacement very easily for you. Call their bluff. And if they make good, release that allegiance. You have no more obligation to them. If it's friends doing that to you, well, let me put it this way. Friends wouldn't do that to you, but if it's a friend doing that to you, release your allegiance. You have no more obligation there. But most importantly, don't second guess yourself. Whatever it is that you're faced with today, do not second guess yourself. You are much stronger than that. And I think the runes will prove that. So today, we have Nothies. This is us kind of, we are obsessed with something. And we have Hagalars, which is our opposition. And we also have Wunyo. And this is why you should be trusting yourself a little more, trusting that instinct a little more fully, because in the end, victory is yours. You are going to have to let go of some things. You're going to have to cut the obsessions loose. You're going to have to face your own worst fear in this time and understand it is a lot smaller than you think, because in the face of this great adversity, you will come out victorious. So to sum up, right now you are making some really, really key assessments. You're looking at things and wondering, is this really worth it? Remember, keep tending to the smaller things. Everything's connected, so be sure to look at the entire picture. Zoom out a little bit, then zoom in. See how those small things affect the much larger. While analyzing the situation, remember, trust your gut. Trust your instincts. Trust your heart. Today is the day to be that sacred rebel. Today is the day to stand up and say, I know exactly what I'm worth. And buddy, you're not cutting it. Because that's where this comes in. You have been busting your hump lately. You've been doing everything that you can, but here's the thing. Perhaps it's not working out. That's what you've been battling against this whole time. Just know one thing. If you choose to dig in your heels and fight whatever this is, your victory is assured. That's a foregone conclusion, depending on how you handle it. With the mouse, I'm seeing the approach. With the King of Swords, I'm also seeing the approach. With the Fool, I'm also seeing the approach. Because this is what you're looking at right now, and you're thinking there could be something more, and you're right. So you're negotiating from that position. And if you find it's just not cutting it, you may have to let them know, I don't fear you. I hope this resonated with you today. I hope that you get something from this. Think long and hard about it. Meditate on it a little bit. And then, when the time is right, act. Remember, a defeat today, losing a battle today, will mean ultimately winning the war tomorrow. We don't really have victims here, not among us, not among you, my 87 subscribers. We don't have victims here. We have victors. We have champions. We have strong people. And you never know how strong you are until you're called to be strong. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, it was a pleasure having you. I love you guys. Love you gals too. Love you one and all. All 87 of you. And more who will be coming. Give the Cloud Hub channel a look. Check out the Telegram. I'm doing what lights me up. What are you doing? Are you doing what lights you up? If so, shine on.